Hey guys, so for this video, I really want to talk about the new Josh Whedon. Well, it's not really new. It's new on DVD and Blu-ray, and I think Netflix in some location somewhere on the site, or just somewhere downloadable rental thing. It's called Cabin in the Woods. It came out around the summertime, I think, shortly before or shortly after Avengers came out. So this was another film that Josh Whedon was a part of earlier in the year. So I finally got around to actually seeing it. I saw it on DVD with my dad. Um, so the Cabin in the Woods, you guys, I'm going to try to give you a synopsis of it without ruining the film for those who haven't seen it. Um, so kind of like in the tradition of most horror films, you have a group of teenagers, a group of early years of college kind of thing going on. And as usual, kind of like in a Friday the 13th film, they all decide to go out for the weekend into this cabin that like one of their relatives have. Um, and while they're at this cabin, they begin to realize some unusual things about it. Like there's zombies, there's trap doors, things hidden underneath the cabin, unusual artifacts they find throughout the house. Um, and while all this is going on, we see kind of this group of facility people um, watching these group of teenagers, interact with each other and making these discoveries in this house. And as the movie progresses, we learn more and more of why these people want to kill off these teenagers in this house. Why they're using this kind of like this experimental bait. Um, and I think that's about as much I want to give away without ruining the movie. But um, as far as goods and bads go for this film go, you guys, um, I liked how they try to have a new twist to an old horror story. They have this whole sci-fi slash monster creature twist, and that makes perfect sense once you see it. So a whole new twist to the classic horror story that we're all familiar with. I really like that they at least tried to do something new with it. With Josh Whedon working on so many good projects over the years, I'm really glad that he took on a project like this because I think he could add, this whole new twist to this genre. I liked how there was a lot of 80s horror movie references and homages, a lot of Friday the 13th stuff in here. Um, Specifically, there's a scene where one of them is crawling up on like a girl character from this cabin who, was one of the teenagers slash early young adults. Um, she's climbing up on like to this bridge, and it's kind of like going into the lake, and it just perfectly represents kind of what the Camp Crystal Lake doc represented in the movies. It looked exactly like it. Um, and just a lot of things that you might recognize from other horror movies. A lot of creatures, a lot of masks that just look really familiar. So it was kind of interesting to see all those homages throughout this movie. I liked how there was kind of like in the tradition of most horror films too. Kind of like this female survivor who's always really intelligent, who can always like figure everything out. Um, is kind of like almost a leader in the group, or not even so much a leader in the group, just the smartest in the group and being able to figure out all this stuff. Um, she was smart and attractive, and she was just the most likable character in the group, in my opinion. Um, I liked how Josh Whedon kind of was able to add like his own special effects and his own special touch in it. Kind of there was definitely a lot of scenes here that kind of reminded me of Avengers in the sense that like the special effects are really good. Um, you could tell Josh Whedon was a part of it in some way, and I really like that feeling. Um, and there was also a lot of campy humor throughout. A lot of, if you've seen a lot of horror films like I have, kind of, like the fact that, people always want to see, the hot girl naked in the group, and all that kind of stuff. They always joke around about that. Um, they always have, like the stoner of the group, the guy who's always doing the drugs and always drinking and, always really not doing anything, just always joking around throughout this get together over the weekend. Um, as far as negatives go, you guys, unfortunately, there's quite a few of them, and I know, a lot of people are praising this movie and, everything else, but I do have quite a few negatives to say about this movie, and here we go. Um, I thought there was a ton of unnecessary blood and gore in this, especially near the end. When the twist is in full swing, we get to see, what exactly this twist to this classic horror story is. Um, just a lot of creature violence, a lot of blood and gore, a lot of blood and gore for the sake of blood and gore. It just a lot of stuff we didn't even need. And I really wish, they just expanded the twist and just, go easy on the blood and the gore. We don't need that much. We don't need a whole room covered in blood. People, choking on blood and seeing their flesh and all that. We don't need all that. Um, I feel like this film tried to do too many things at once near the end. Just, it's like, oh, hey, what if we try this twist? What if you throw this twist in here? What if we throw this twist in here, 3 minutes before the movie ends? And it kind of got old after a while. It's almost like, if you're going to make a huge twist for this movie, choose one. Don't choose five, choose one. And so I feel like Josh Whedon, whoever directed this film, was just trying to do too much at once. Like they couldn't, it's like we have to make this movie an hour and 35 minutes. So we got to throw all these twists at the end of the movie and all that kind of stuff. Um, so I really wish, they just would have sat down and really decide which twist would work best for this kind of film. Because I gotta tell you the truth, near the end of this film, I just kind of got sick of seeing all these twists. I just needed one of them or two of them, or choose one that you're happy with, that the audience is going to be happy with, and don't just give us a million at once. I mean, we don't need that many. Um, there was a scene in this film, not even a scene, kind of a segment of scene, several scenes when the twist was slowly introduced, um, where these zombies are attacking the group of kids. That's when kind of the sci-fi genre is, making its way into the film. It's slowly becoming a zombie film at the same time. Um, I really wish they did something along the line of, like a camp killer or kind of this masked killer or something like that. Something that we're more used to. Because I got to tell you the truth, the zombies just really weren't appealing to me. They were very cardboard. They weren't very threatening, to tell you the truth. And most people are like, oh well, you just don't understand zombie movies and all that. But I gotta tell you, I mean, they could have done something a lot more fun than zombies. I mean, we've seen so many zombies in so many films now. I really wish they just did something unique because I know Josh Whedon can do unique. So, give us something that represents Jason, since we've seen so many Friday the 13th references throughout the film. So, I really wish they just did something else besides zombies because we've just seen that so many times. Um, Also, and I think this is probably one of my biggest negatives, when it came to the twist, the facility side of the story really needed some work. In fact, I was complaining throughout this whole film, you know, they got to explain that more. They got to explain this more. They got to explain this character more. Why is this character like this? How come they got to be so tragic with all this? Um, it's almost as if they almost yeah, it's almost as if Josh Whedon wrote the script and then the other writer wrote the other side, the facility side of the story, and that's kind of cool. Teamwork is fine, but unfortunately, with that being said, it just felt like two different kind of movies. And I really wish they kept the whole Friday the 13th feel because as soon as the creatures and the twist was in full swing, it just really lost that special touch we were experiencing earlier in the movie. And I just wish this facility that was used throughout the movie was explained a bit more. There was more reason behind it. Um, give us a reason and give us something to believe in as to why this facility is doing what they do. It was kind of almost like, is this facility open to the public? Is this a secretive organization? Yeah, just a lot of stuff with that part of the movie I felt could have been a lot better. Um, but overall, guys, I give Cabin in the Woods a 7 out of 10. Like I said, there's plenty to be, happy with here, but there's also plenty of stuff here to be kind of disappointed with. I do feel this film is a bit overrated, just my opinion, though. If you really want to see a good Josh Whedon film, I recommend, The Avengers. Um, but if you just want to see kind of, the other film that he worked on earlier in the year, and you're big into horror films, and you want to see a unique twist on the horror film genre, it might be worth checking out. So I give Cabin in the Woods a 7 out of 10.